physical life now becomes the contact point between the brand and the consumer in a very authentic, immersive way. So we curate experiences that money cannot buy. You're no longer a spectator, but you're a participant. That immersion is what we call multisensorial marketing.
Su liderazgo ha colocado a Mastercard como una de las marcas mejor valuadas y de más rápido crecimiento a nivel global. Con su dirección mantiene a la icónica plataforma siempre a la vanguardia del marketing experiencial y multisensorial. Pionero en adaptar nuevas tecnologías y estándares en diseño inclusivo, junto a su profunda experiencia en gestión empresarial, sus estrategias garantizan ampliar el alcance e impacto de las marcas con las que colabora. Liderando con experiencia y determinación, Raja Rajamannar, Chief Marketing and Communications Officer de Mastercard.
My name is Raja Rajamannar, and I'm the Chief Marketing and Communications Officer of Mastercard.
Raja, I'm very happy to see you again.
Delighted to be here. Thank you.
It's amazing to have you in Mexico. You're a visionary. You have a great book, or at least I'm a fan of your book.
I would like to believe my book is good.
Honestly, Raja, I think your book is really good. And I think you were talking about things that were at the moment very ahead of time that seem to be quite impossible. I would probably say that both your book and Thomas Friedman, when he wrote The Next 100 Years, I clearly remember thinking some of these things won't happen. I don't know if that happened. I don't know if you read that book in particular.
See, in fact, I would not really dare to compare myself to Mr. Friedman. He's in a different league, right? But the point is, looking into the future and trying to predict what's going to happen, it's a fascinating aspect. Now, in my book, Quantum Marketing, when I had written it, and it became a Wall Street Journal bestseller, that was one of my proudest moments for me. I said, wow, I'm a first-time author. My book became a Wall Street Journal bestseller, so I was pretty happy. But what made me even more happier was when I started seeing every one of my predictions made in the book come true. The most recent one was when I went to the Consumer Electronics Show, CES in Vegas. So what happened there is I was just walking through the LG stand. They got a massive stall there. So when I was going through their unit, they had the manifestation exactly of the concept I talked about, outdoor billboards. So in my book, I said, billboards will become smart billboards. Mm-hmm. They will have cameras and they will be connected. So when you're walking past the billboard, it knows who you are. Not by name or personally identifiable information, but based on your characteristics, your past behavior. They know that there is a guy walking and he has got these characteristics. What is the most appropriate ad I should show him? It'll show you the ad. Then it'll look at your facial expression and say, is this person engaged with this ad or not? If he is not engaged, it'll quickly change it and bring you another relevant ad. So the person behind you, if I'm the one who is walking behind you, by the time I come over closer to the board, it'll actually give me a different ad based on what my own profile is in terms of my behavioral profile, segmentation, call it whatever it is. That was actually brought to life in CES. I said, wow, this is something which I actually visualized as a concept. Here I see it for the first time in front of me.
It seemed like crazy at the time. And the reason why I mentioned that and the reason why I start the interview there is because I feel that AI is a new catalyst. So you have all these predictions that some involved AI at the time, but AI is at a different level, especially when you look at what happened with DeepSeek a couple of weeks ago.
Amazing.
They're using predictive chips instead of learning chips, which is a whole different point of view on how to process data. In your perspective, how will AI turn into a catalyst? And do you have any predictions of what will happen in the next, let's say, probably 24 months?
Yeah, 24 months is a very long time.
That's true.
So, but here is what the whole situation is. So one of the big things I talked about in the book as well is that AI will be the single biggest enabler of taking marketing into its fifth paradigm. It's going to be the single biggest disruptor. It's proven to be true.
Yes.
And this was a time when I wrote before the advent of Gen AI.
And LLMs and GPTs, nothing was there.
Right?
Yes.
This was, I wrote it in 2021.
Yes.
So LLM and all these are more recent phenomena. So, but what is said directionally and even absolute content-wise is coming true today. So that's one part of it. Second, it's very interesting that from AI, we quickly moved to Gen AI. Now we have already moved to the next level, which is agentic AI. So what's the basic difference is that in Gen AI, it actually creates answers to you based on its pattern recognition across humongous amount of data that it processes and it's trained on. Now, once it serves you, so for example, if you say, where do I want to, or what should I do for a holiday in, say I'm going to Thailand, what kind of stuff can I do actually, what kind of events and shows or whatever it is. The key thing is, agentic AI will actually execute it for you. So it's almost like having your AI assistant. There are some which are interactive decision-making processes. There are some processes which are autonomous decision-making processes. So what I mean by autonomous is, suppose I have got a subscription to a particular, say, coffee. And I say, send it to me every month. The subscription then becomes executed as a rule that I have given it. Now, that is static, which means I'm giving it a decision and it executes at the predefined frequency. The agentic AI actually can be dynamic. And I can delegate it. That's okay. Look at all the good things that I can do in Thailand and make the bookings for that. That's all I say. It does everything by itself. As a result of which, I, as a consumer, am getting a little bit removed from the actual purchase decisions. I don't decide whether I should stay in brand A hotel or brand B hotel. The agentic AI has figured it out. So normally as marketers, we are understanding consumers' buyer behavior and what goes on through their mind, and you are trying to serve your messaging, your offers, your timing, everything based on that. But now, when I delegate my authority to an AI agent, and the AI agent does everything, what happens then is we have to reinvent how marketing is done.
Yes.
And what's fascinating is you need to know, just like, for example, for the search engines, you have got search engine optimization, search engine marketing, SEM, SEO, and all these things that we do. We need to come up with similar concepts for agentic optimization. And that's something which we are at the beginning of the entire journey. And back to the other point, which I wrote also in the book is, now I, as a marketer, if I'm trying to market to these million people, I'm not doing it manually. I'm delegating it to my machines to execute it. And on the other side now, the consumers are also delegating their decision-making to machines. So instead of B2B marketing, B2C marketing, it becomes machine-to-machine marketing.
Yes, and probably B2C is B2 chatbot or agent or something.
It's agent-to-agent marketing.
Yes.
It's going to be fascinating and a total rediscovery of the entire process.
What I would say is, when you look at the number of crawls websites are getting from, Google search engines, which used to be probably 60% in terms of robots. But right now, Perplexity, which is an AI engine, is probably consuming 95% of crawls of major websites, which, agreeing with you, shows us that we are now marketing to the agent or to the chatbot.
Correct.
I guess the big challenge there is, do you think brands will lose, or most of the brands will lose the control of their relationship with the consumer, since the new media, the new linchpin is actually the AI engine, whatever element or chatbot?
So in fact, if the marketers don't do anything now, they will definitely lose the connection with the consumers. They have to do something. Now, I'll give you an example at what we do at Mastercard. We are saying that there is your digital life, but there is also a physical life. Physical life now becomes the contact point or the connection point between the brand and the consumer in a very authentic, immersive way. So we curate experiences that money cannot buy, but you can get them only through Mastercard. So we, for example, we have got a Formula One. So we have recently got into sponsorship of F1. Instead of merely flashing our brand name all over the place, we focus on curating experiences for our consumers. Either you get the best seats on the track, or you get into the pit or the garage, the pit stop or the garage or the wall. There are a whole bunch of areas in the F1 space that you can go to and enjoy the race in a completely different way, because you're surrounded by the team members, you're the engineers, you're in the midst of the action. You're no longer a spectator, but you're a participant. That immersion is what we call multisensorial marketing. The roar of the engine, the heat that you can feel from the engine, the way they actually comes in, it's all thrilling. It's very difficult to explain. But this is called the Gestalt, which is you have to experience it to understand. To say, aha, this is something which is fantastic. Those are the things we are actually trying to capture. When you do this, your dependence on the non-physical channels, i.e. digital channels, will come down to a certain extent. And having said that, in the digital as well, you need to figure out a way of how to really connect with the consumers, engage them in a meaningful way, because now all these bots are coming in between, the agents are coming in between. How do you bypass the agent and then go to the consumer? If you go purely based on product marketing, I think it's very difficult for you to connect with the consumer. It has to be more about connecting with the consumer on their passions.
Okay.
Understand what consumers are passionate about. If they're passionate about something, they are not going to delegate it to an agent. They will actually get involved themselves. That's why it's a passion, and it's passionate for them. So in that context, what happens is, for example, we have done something recently, just last week or last weekend at Grammy Awards. So we had partnered with Lady Gaga, and then we had the release of her new song, Abracadabra. And in fact, New York Times has written saying that this was the best advertisement for in the entire Grammy Awards. And there are a number of publications, they were applauding it. This is not an ad. We are merely tapping it, because we don't talk about our product. We don't talk about Mastercard. We are just, Mastercard is present and Mastercard presents. It's all about Lady Gaga and her music and all that, which the audience love quite a lot. So we got in so subtly into that passion space that it becomes a big hit. So if you look at it from that point of view, the way you have to do marketing needs to be reimagined, because there are so many changes. Every single aspect, whether it is consumer insights, whether it is purchase funnel, whether it is advertising, whether it is promotions, or whether it is channel management, content management, everything has to be reinvented.
Well, it seems like the challenge or the race for brands will be to create and curate their own relationship with consumers and being able to partner with other brands. So everybody, I assume, will be racing to be part of unique brands that have this something special that the consumer wants to invest their time, wants to invest their money, wants to invest their life with them.
Absolutely. See, the thing is, the days of brands doing co-marketing is really ahead of us. It's going to happen big time. This could be very unusual partnerships and not something which is obvious. The less obvious, the more compelling it is. Okay, so long as it's not,
Crass or
exactly,
yes.
right? So the thing is, if you look at in the past, Mastercard has been doing a lot of co-branding as an example, right? So we had banks, and then we would do cards with the banks. Then we went to cards with airlines, bank, and ourselves. These are the airline co-branded cards. So we have got some experience already in the space, but this is going to go to a completely different level of the kind of cross-brand collaborations. Because each brand that is not competing, we can bring together collectively higher value proposition to the consumers than each one of us can independently bring.
It's so interesting since you're referring to relationships, experiences that seem to be totally disconnected from AI. If somebody just heard this interview, they would assume that we're leaving out AI completely, but without AI, this probably couldn't be possible because AI, I assume, how does it help curate those experiences?
So AI is a very good co-pilot. So if you are curating experiences, once you have curated one experience, consumers don't want to go through the same experience again and again and again. So you constantly have to come up with new experiences and keep cross-pollinating. So for example, if we curate 1,000 experiences that you can find on our website at any point in time called priceless.com, if I keep those 1,000 static, consumers will lose interest very quickly. I have to give them a reason to keep coming back because they know there is always some unexpected and fantastic experiences that they can get from this particular website. Believe it or not, while we say that AI does not do original creativity, it does commercial creativity brilliantly. So for example, if I ask AI, hey, I'm in Mexico and I want to give my consumers priceless experiences, come up with the most crazy ideas. Give me 100 crazy ideas. It will give me 100 crazy ideas. And then I can sift through it, say, you know what, these 4 ideas are very good. Now, with AI, I said, oh, can you flesh these out more? Can you make this more unique? How can I make them more unique? It is almost like having a real-time coach with you. The coach doesn't create for you, but the coach guides you. So it's like, therefore I keep saying it is not artificial intelligence, but it is augmented intelligence. Your intelligence is augmented by this companionship with your AI partner. And that AI engine can vastly increase your capabilities, your speed, and the amount of analysis that you can do, the kind of insights that you can get. You become a much better decision maker in the process. And that's something which I'm finding it fascinating. And I have already seen, whether it is the way some ads are created, it's vastly improving. And the speed is crazy. Or whether it is B2B, where we compose responses to RFPs, request for proposals that we receive. And it actually takes away the work of 7 weeks and compresses it to 1 day. And that's like amazingly productive. So just imagine if I'm working on an RFP for 7 weeks and suddenly I finish my work in 1 day, how much of things I can do beyond that? It's extraordinary.
I'm pressed to ask you, if you had to give advice to somebody starting to study, going into university, what would your advice be? What should they study? Because it seems like what you're saying is everything will change. It will stay the same, but will change in a way. So what would your advice be for somebody who is listening to us and probably has a son that will start studying and you want to coach him?
Fantastic. So is he getting into college now?
Yes, let's assume that.
Fantastic. If that's what it is, the first thing I will say is get your foundations of different fields rock solid. You should understand data, irrespective of which function, whether you want to be a doctor, you want to be an engineer, or you want to be a marketer or a manager in some company, whatever, you need to understand data. Number 2, you need to understand finance very, very clearly. Third, take some courses on psychology.
Wow.
It will come in extremely handy for you because at the end of the day, jobs and working is all about relationships. The more you understand psychology, the better person you are in terms of able to relate to other people, as well as if you're getting into areas like marketing or human resources, it will become a core competence for you. So get into these core areas first and foremost. Then the second thing I would say is that when there is so much amount of technology that is developing, whether you're talking about AI, you're talking about augmented reality, you're talking about extended or mixed reality, call it whatever the reality is, you're talking of cryptocurrencies coming back again, you're talking of blockchains. There are so many technologies which are coming. As a newcomer into this field, you need to be a tech-savvy person. So it's data, psychology, finance, and sciences, and technology. You have to absolutely get them. It is the basics. Now, when technology becomes so advanced, it levels the competitive field. So I might be a gigantic $10 trillion company, and you might be a very small startup, which doesn't even have revenues. both of us have access for $20 a month to the same AI.
That's true.
And that AI therefore levels. It depends on how smart you are asking your questions and instructing the AI to support you compared to me. So in this situation, what happens is everything becomes very, very common. It's a sea of sameness. In a sea of sameness, it is original creativity and innovation which will stand out. That's where marketing comes in. So this is going to be the glorious golden moments of marketing in future.
I love that you mentioned that, since sometimes I feel that even though brands know and understand this is coming, they're not doing enough.
True.
And why is that in your opinion?
Partly wishful thinking that there is all a fad that it'll pass away. And the other part of it is it's also genuine fear. Not everyone has learning agility. And therefore, if you cannot grasp certain things, you don't have the capability to understand certain things, your defense mechanisms are to either ignore them or to poo-poo it.
Yeah.
That's what is happening. Unfortunately, if you look at the entire marketing community, the overwhelming majority of CMOs, they are traditional classical marketers. They understand psychology, sociology, design, purchase funnels, brand positioning and logos and all those kind of things they understand brilliantly. But then they don't understand technologies. They don't understand finance. They don't understand data. As a result of which, when they are being asked the hard questions by the CFO, what is your ROI? They look like they are deer caught in headlights.
Yes.
They don't know how to respond.
Yes.
Right?
I've seen it. It's amazing.
And they cannot respond in a convincing way because they don't grasp that technology. So basically, if you look at the classical marketers, they're all right-brained, the creative types, and the emotions, feelings type. Whereas today, marketing has become a significant portion of it is the left brain, which is you're talking of algorithms, technology, and science, and you're talking about ROI, data, and all these things. So marketers, I would keep advising particularly my peers, CMOs, and which is that if you don't have competencies yourself, that is fine. But surround yourself with people who have competencies in the areas that complement your skills. So I know the example I use is like Leonardo da Vinci. Leonardo da Vinci was one of those rare geniuses who had left brain thinking at a peak, right brain thinking also at a peak. So you don't find too many individuals like that, right? But that's what marketing demands from you today, because you have to be literally like a Da Vinci, super creative, super innovative, and at the same time you have to be also super quantitative, super technically savvy, financially savvy, etc. How do you do that? And one individual may not. So they at least have a Da Vinci team. So put people who are complementary to each other and get together this Da Vinci team and make sure that everyone is actually connecting the dots with others so that you're performing with the whole brain, the whole marketing brain.
Or probably that's the title of your new book, Da Vinci
That's
Team.
a good idea.
I think I love it. I wrote it down. I love it.
That's a fantastic thing.
Yeah, there you go. These are my notes.
Okay.
These are the interview notes. So I'm taking this one with me.
Awesome. Let's go author it.
I love it. I understand you have very packed agenda. So I really appreciate you spending some time with me.
Thank you so much. Really appreciate it, Alvaro.